Hello friends, in this video we will be talking about the historical account of cell, and let's begin with how the cell was discovered. Actually, the discovery of cell came along with the invention of microscope. In 1661, King Charles II of England started a project on microscopical studies, and the project was given to an upcoming scientist, Robert Hooke. And Charles has asked to study only the insects, but Hooke was very enthusiastic and he went beyond his commission and looked at everything from basic fabrics, leaves, mica, glass, etc. When Hooke viewed a thin slice of cork under his microscope, what he observed was honeycomb-like structures, which he termed as cellulae. And the word cellulae is a Latin word which means a little room. And later the cellulae term is cells. The cells were empty spaces which were surrounded by walls. He did not see anything living inside the cell, as what he took was cork cells and they were dead tissues. Thus, Hooke had recorded many drawings and observations in his book Micrographia, which he published in 1665. And the book became an instant bestseller, and thus the discovery of cell was in 1665. The discovery of cell ignited the spark of cell biology and set a trend of scientists in making discoveries and looking through microscopes. Thus, at around 1674, another scientist, Antony van Leeuwenhoek, discovered free living cells from pond water. Antony van Leeuwenhoek also invented his own microscope, which had a magnifying power that was over 200 to 500 times more. And Antony van Leeuwenhoek, under his microscope, could identify and discover many free living cells like bacteria, protozoa, and spermatozoa, and many others. Thus, he was named as the father of microbiology. With such important discoveries, many scientists started working on cytology, and one of the great botanists, that was Robert Brown, also focused working with a microscope. And he particularly was interested in studying pollination among higher plant species. During his microscopic studies, he discovered the nucleus of the cell in 1831 in a plant tissue of orchid cells. And that way many other discoveries led, and later on the discovery of cytoplasm also came along. But the discovery of cytoplasm cannot be given to a particular scientist. It was a work of many scientists together. However, the jelly-like sweet substance that is inside the cell, which is termed as protoplasm, was given by the term protoplasm was given by Johannes Purkinje. With all these discoveries and studies going on, at around 1838-39, two scientists, namely Schleiden and Swan, formulated the cell theory. And the cell theory states that each cell is made up of a mass of protoplasm which has a nucleus, and it is bounded by a cell membrane. And all organisms are composed of cells and their products. And the function of an organism is an outcome of the activities and interaction of a constitutive cells. For an example, if an organism wants to move, not even I'm saying move, or I can say respire, you can say respiration. That respiration that comes along is the outcome, or you can say the function that has come out from the activities and interaction of the cells of that organism. Okay, that means cells are the basic structural and functional unit of life. Now, from this cell theory, we got to know that cells, all organisms are composed of cells, and how a cell is made up of. But there was a drawback in this cell theory, that it did not explain how a cell is formed. And also the viruses that we know, which is neither living nor non-living, that did not come under this cell theory. So one of the drawbacks, that is how cells are made, was overcome by another scientist, Virchow, in 1855. Where he formulated, actually he modified the cell theory, and he found that cells are formed from pre-existing cells. In Latin it's called omnis cellulae cellulae, which means one cell give rise to the other cell. And we now know that one cell is formed, actually one cell goes through a cell cycle. By the process of cell cycle, it divides into two daughter cells, and that is how we get new cells. And with this invention and more advancement in the microscopy, the electron microscope came in around 1940s, and it was possible to observe and understand the complex structures of the cell and its various organisms. Thus, in our next lectures, we will be studying more in detail of the cell. For today, this is it. Thank you, and if you have liked my video, please do subscribe and press the bell button for upcoming notifications. Thank you. Bye-bye.